What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, and we have got past the technical difficulties, and we are back with a post-match fan show. Well, morning after show actually. But look, we've lost 3-1 to Liverpool last night. Detrimental defeat.
Very. I think not just performance, not the manner of defeat. You know, the injuries to Kane. Obviously, Reguilon was injured before. The fight with Aurier at half time, leaving a bad kind of the fighting at half time, leaving a bad taste in the mouth. Everything went wrong, didn't it? I say everything went wrong, and
everything that could go wrong went wrong.
Yeah,
and I think the Kane injury is the biggest one for me.
And it's really frustrating because I think literally you would say 12 hours before 24 hours before kickoff, right? I think everyone's excited for the game, and then all of a sudden it all starts to be going when you hear about Reguilon or everything starts to go a bit wrong. You're like, okay, Reguilon's out. Could still get a result, and Kane gets injured, and first of all that goal gets ruled out after 2 minutes after we thought you had a great start. And then Kane gets injured, and then we make the wrong subs, and then we got torn apart, and it all just fell to pieces yesterday. And it was just one of those defeats where you're left feeling, where do we go from here? And yeah, we're in pieces after yesterday.
I mean, it's not that losing to Liverpool is such a bad thing and hard to take, because obviously Liverpool have been the best team in Europe over the past 2 years. Never mind their form, their class is always going to be there at the end of the day. But for me, it was the manner in the defeat. It seemed as though kind of after that second goal for Liverpool in the second half, right at the beginning, we just gave up.
Well, I would say after the third goal.
Yeah, maybe even after the third
goal.
We got a goal back, yeah, but even us getting that goal back, I never looked like we were actually going to get proper back in the game. Maybe for about 5 minutes. That's it.
Pretty much. Between when we got that goal, between us getting the goal and them getting their third that got ruled out from VAR, there was a little period of thinking maybe we showed a bit of fight and we showed a bit of intent, like belief that we're going to get back in the game. And then as soon as they got that goal that was ruled out, we were dead and buried.
It's the manner of defeat. It's just so poor. It's so hard to take these defensive errors every single game. And now you just know that because of these defensive errors keep happening, Jose is just going to go more pragmatic, more defensive. And we just know what's coming over the next couple of weeks. I think we're going to go like literally park the bus in every game kind of thing, because we just can't not, because our defensive frailties are just too evident for everyone to see.
I slightly disagree, because yes, our defensive frailties were shocking yesterday, but we were playing Liverpool, and we're not going to be playing Liverpool every week.
But we still make defensive errors in every week.
Correct, but we will face other teams who are not as good as Liverpool. So despite the defensive errors, we'll have the belief that we can get more goals against other sides than we can against Liverpool. Because against Liverpool, you need to be at 100%. You need to be on it. You're not going to create loads and loads of chances against a team like Liverpool who dominate possession, who have really high intensity. And despite the fact that they're missing defenders, it doesn't really it affects them, but it doesn't affect the way they play in a sense. So that
it affects the way they defend.
Yes, but even in their bad run, right? Even in their bad run, it's not like they're leaking chances. They're just tight games where they're not putting the chances away that they've created. But it's not like they're conceding loads of chances. So it does affect them, obviously, because the quality of the back isn't as high as it was. But you're still playing a very high functional system, which is going to be very hard to play against. So when we come out in the second half like we did and we attack Liverpool with the defence that we have, we're always going to get exposed. We're always, especially when we're pressing high up the pitch with Doherty and Davis at fullback, it was always going to be a recipe of a disaster, and they're always going to pick us off. But we're not going to be playing teams as good as Liverpool every week. So I do feel like, for example, against Brighton on Sunday, I don't think we're going to go uber defensive. I hope we don't. I wouldn't anyway if I was Jose.
We went pretty defensive last time we played them.
Yeah, but that was in that period, wasn't it, when we were because we were trying to.
Yeah, and it could be another period now where Jose just needs to tighten up the
look, we
defence,
have to wait and see.
Start getting clean sheets again.
Yes, but we're in a cycle because we had that, and then we weren't creating enough chances, so we opened up a bit. Results kind of improved slightly. Obviously, the opposition wasn't as great. We were playing Leeds, Brentford, Fulham, and Sheffield United, so the opposition wasn't as good. But we opened up a bit. To create more chances, But then against Liverpool, we got shown up.
It's not just Liverpool. We're in a situation now where we've won 2 games in the last 9 in the Premier League, and Jose's needs to do something drastic to get the results back on side. We've, like I said, 2 wins in the last 9 games, and Jose's go-to when things are going wrong is going to be that pragmatic approach and just try and nick a goal here and there and win 1-0, win 2-0. You know what I mean? And I can't see any other thing that Jose's going to try and do, especially with Harry Kane out injured now as well.
I don't know. Look, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, there's no point getting frustrated about a prediction that might happen. We'll have to wait and see. But I think it depends who we play. I don't think against Chelsea you're probably right. Against Brighton, I don't think we will.
All right, we'll see. I mean, we went very pragmatic last time we played Brighton, but let's get on Grandpa. Hi, Grandpa. Didn't work with him last night, but hopefully it's going to work with him today. Grandpa,
can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, that's brilliant. Well, I want to tell you that I didn't take the morning after pill.
Well, that's good. That's good to hear.
Because if I had have done, I would have been pretty miserable. But being pregnant now, I'm positive again. I thought that I think it was the problem was Marino really this time. I think his defence is normally, historically is his best area, and I think the way he set it up by pushing Aurier up the front and not putting him at the back there was a mistake to start with on that wing. And I think the 2 people he took off, he really should have done. It was absolutely right. I mean, Doherty was appalling. He didn't do anything.
Yeah.
So he's got his defence all wrong at the back there. Toby should have been there somewhere. Always one of our best defenders, or even Sisson, who's a strong defensive player. And I think basically the 2 basic errors in defence, Lloris and
Dyer.
No, Rodon.
Rodon, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and Rodon. And they were 2 mistakes. And I think that was the problem. I think otherwise we weren't playing that bad, particularly in the first half. I think Hobier was the Spurs man of the match by a long way. By far, yeah. And Ndomble, actually, in the first half, was playing brilliantly.
Yeah, he was.
The loss of Kane was, quite serious because you lost Son when you lost Kane, and he should have brought Vinicius on. Bringing Lamela on to take the place of Kane was extraordinary decision. Even if he brought Bale on earlier in that position, it would have been better. But and Winks, when you're playing with a lot of big players, Winks doesn't come out strong. He's a small guy, and you need a big guy in the centre. And I think that was a mistake too. And I just feel he panicked. Marino panicked. He panicked too quickly. He didn't think it through enough. Yeah. And he kept the same way going. Even bringing Mora on would have been better than Winks, because he would have then still had the forward push. And they were that first. They started really well, but 2 mistakes at poor timings just before and just after the break really was the thing that put us down. So I'm still hopeful. I'm still really positive that we've got a good team. We've got some good players. I think it's going to be a bit difficult if Kane doesn't come back quickly. But it's going to give us a chance to get Vinicius going, because I think he needs some time on the pitch to play. I think apart from his mistake, Rodin was okay. He played quite well. But you can't say a lot for the others. Davis didn't come across the way he should be, and I think we lost. We lost having a captain, really.
Yeah.
Norris, when Norris starts to make mistakes, then we haven't got somebody up front that is pulling us forward. Anyway, they're my thoughts, but I wouldn't be too depressed. I think it's a very strange league at the moment. Amazing, we're still sixth, despite the loss. So let's go forward and with positivity. And I think one thing you do know about Mourinho, he learns. He doesn't. He won't mess about. He'll make the decisions that he's seen. All this, he knows. And I'm certain that we're going to be seeing ourselves go forward. And we might have still some bumps, but it's a very strange league. Very strange league, and I think let's stay upwards and onwards. And go through all the players on the two teams that we've got, if you like.
Yeah.
There's really good players there, and when they're all there, we play very, very well. So that's my view.
With Kane being out injured, Grandpa, do you think that he has the trust in Vinicius to start playing him, or do you think that maybe he'll give Gareth Bale a go or stick Son up there? What do you think he'll do?
No, I think you have to give Vinicius the opportunity. I mean, he did get a hat trick, didn't he, just recently
against Marine? Yeah,
he did. Yeah,
against Marine, but I think he needs the time. I think we should. It's the opportunity, actually. So I definitely think we should be there, but not Son in the centre. Son will be with him.
Yeah. Do you not think it was an opportunity yesterday to bring him on, though? He had 45 minutes.
Yeah, I said so. I definitely thought he should have brought him on at half time. It was such an obvious thing, and he brings Lamela on. I mean, it makes sense. Lamela's not. He's a good player. I like Lamela, but he's a centre. He's a person that keeps it going in the centre. He's not a centre forward.
Yeah.
He's only got one other centre forward really in the team, and that's Vinicius. That's why he bought him.
Correct.
And he's got to trust.
Yeah, I agree. And do you think as well that Mourinho was maybe guilty of overcomplicating our formation at the beginning, putting Doherty on the left, putting on the wing back, and having Davis as centre back, where you could have easily just put Davis at left back and put either Toby or Sanchez at centre back when we have them sitting on the bench? Why does he persist with? Why did he think that playing Doherty at left wing back was the right way to go?
I think he panicked. When Regulon went down, and he brings Doherty in, and Doherty shouldn't even been playing, let alone in that position. And I think he just panicked and made 2 or 3 wrong decisions right the way through. And it's a shame, but nevertheless, I won't lose faith in him, because I do believe he'll recognise it himself. And if he listens to your program, you'll have enough people that are telling him. But if you you probably did listen to his after the match summing up, that's what he said. He said, "Look, we made two terrible mistakes, and when you're playing a team like Liverpool, they're like 10 mistakes."
Yeah, agreed.
So I think I'm hopeful. I still believe he's is the best manager in the country.
Do you think that loss last night changes anything for you in terms of what we can achieve this season, or it's still just keep going and see what happens?
No, I believe that we'll win one cup and we'll end up in the top four.
All right, well, let's hope so. I think that was the kind of aim before the season, so I think we'll all be happy with that.
Yep. Yep. So that we get, next year we will get
Champions League.
Yep.
That's the most important thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Because it looks like, they're at the moment we're what we thought what we were going to be maybe challenging for. I guess a trophy in top four. That was always the aim at the beginning of the season. That's still in sight, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the fight? I didn't hear about the fight.
Yeah, I want to hear. I want to get your opinion on that as well. Apparently, Lloris and Aurier got into a bit of a scuffle at half time. Aurier apparently left the stadium at half time as well. No one, obviously, it's all speculation as to what happened inside the dressing room, but we know for a fact that Aurier definitely did leave the ground at half time. So, do you think that creates a bad feeling in the kind of dressing room if those things are going on, or do you think it's good that they're kind of holding each other to account when they make mistakes?
Is that what you believe the fight was about?
I believe it was rumoured to be about the goal that we conceded just before half time. Apparently, Aurier was blaming Lloris and Dyer for not clearing the ball, and then apparently Lloris and Aurier got into a bit of a fight. This is all speculation. The only thing we know for a fact is that Aurier definitely left the ground at half time.
Yeah, look, it's not going to be good. It's can you hear me still?
Yeah,
I can hear you.
Weird. Aurier, is a bad-tempered guy anyway. He when he's given away penalties before because he gets into makes rash decisions. But without knowing what the fight was about, I can only speculate that it's not going to be good for the dressing room. To have somebody walk out at half time, I don't know it'd be very interesting to see what Mourinho does about it. But I think I would be very tempted to sack Aurier.
But at the end of the day, we need him so badly because our only other right back option is Doherty, and he's been awful this season.
Yeah, we'll have to buy somebody.
Yeah, I mean, not long to go, is there? Only a few days. I mean, the window shuts when on Monday.
Mm-hmm. With no chance of buying a right back.
Wouldn't Rodin play right back?
I think the only one that can potentially play in there is Tanganga.
Yeah, but Rodin couldn't.
I don't think he can play right back. Maybe a one-off game or something, but not from here on to the end of the season.
Right. Well,
so we'll just have to see what happens with that one. We'll have to see how this one plays out. But look, it's always great to hear your positive thoughts. Yeah. Always trust on you, Grandpa, to put us in a positive mood again. So thank you for that.
What we got to do is put them in a positive mood.
Say that again.
That's us, because we can only talk about it, but we've got to keep them in a positive mood.
Yeah,
that's
I
true.
agree with that.
Send all your love to Marino and get him to keep positive.
We'll do. We'll make sure to put a poster of you up in the dressing room. Maybe that'll put them in a positive mood.
Well, with my proper shirt on.
Yeah, exactly.
Grandpa, we needed a left back yesterday, and we have Danny Rose sitting in the under-23s, Grandpa.
Yes. That's what we could do. We could bring him back.
Bring him back. You never know. Weirder things have happened, but anyway.
All right, thanks for coming on, Grandpa. We'll see you soon.
Yeah. Cheers.
Nice
one, Grandpa.
Oh,
all right. Cheers. Let's go start having a look at the headlines from last night. Who's this?
Guardian.
This is The Guardian, and the headline on the back page is "Both ankles getting big." Great. Mourinho laments Kane's injury as Liverpool find their groove. So
laments.
Sorry.
Both ankles getting big. Yeah, look. There's no. No, we can take these headphones off now, can't we?
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. That injury, especially as well, given how Liverpool play, was a big blow for us.
But the thing is, though, you bring on a target man up there to kind of, because everyone knows Liverpool's defensive frailties over the past couple, since Van Dijk and Gomez has been injured. So Lamela was never going to prove anything positive for us in that game. We needed a target man up there.
We didn't put Lamela up front. We had Son up front.
Yeah, but still, we needed a target man up there.
Correct. But what I would say is I understood what he was trying to do because he was trying to exploit. First of all, he was trying to press a lot higher up, and he was trying to get a bit more possession off Liverpool. So he brought Lamela on because we know Lamela likes to do that intense pressing and tackling and everything. And Liverpool, he knows as long as it's 1-0, Liverpool is still going to go for more goals and go for that second goal. So they're still going to be pushing up. So there's going to be space to exploit. The problem Mourinho had was a minute into the second half, we go 2-0 down.
Game plan out the window.
And then
gone.
that's it. And when it goes 2-0, all of a sudden you saw what Liverpool did. They just dropped. They dropped and they played deep and they just let us have the ball.
Yeah, and it was game over after the 46th minute was game over.
And as soon as they go and as soon as they drop, that's when you need a target man because that's when we need a target man anyway, but that's when it's like imperative that you have a target man because there's no space for Son and Bergwijn and Lamela to run into. So that second goal was a massive killer for us. And if I and
got to point the fingers at Hugo, don't you? At the end of the day,
yeah. I mean, the two goals. I mean, we love Hugo on this channel. We're big advocates of Hugo Lloris, and we've praised him a lot. But you got to say those two goals. And you know what? I was pissed off the first, but that second goal. I mean, put it out for a corner man, tip it behind. It was not an easy shot not a hard shot to stop. It really wasn't. There wasn't that much power on it. It was skidding along the floor. It would have been very, very easy for Lloris to just tip that behind for a corner. He tips it right into Trent's path, and that was really disappointing because he's actually usually very good at that kind of stuff, tipping it around for the not leaving it for opposition strikers.
What do you make out of this headline? This is from Jonathan Liu of The Guardian as well, and he says, Ndombele holds the key to Spurs' future, but is held back by Mourinho's negative tactics.
I don't think that's true.
I don't think it's true either.
I don't think Mourinho. Look, would Ndombele be better? Would Ndombele? Yeah, he said. Yeah, show it to the camera. Would Ndombele be better in a team much more possession based, maybe for Man City or for Liverpool? You could make that argument. I'm not saying you can't. But what I would say is, this season he's been great. He's been fantastic. He's been one of the stars for Spurs and one of the stars in the midfield of the Premier League. So I don't see how Mourinho's holding him back in any way. It's not like he's stopping him performing. The only thing I would say
could it be better?
Yeah, he can be better. That's what I would say. You can make the argument that if he was starting for Liverpool or for City, he would look a lot better. Well, not a lot better. He would be a lot more effective.
What do you make out of this one? I really like this quote here from the same guy. He says, Højbjerg may be the lungs of this team, Kane and Son are the ticking heart, but Ndombele has been the soul.
Yeah.
I love that.
I agree. It's true. And I felt bad for Ndombele yesterday because
he was too isolated, wasn't he?
He was in the first half. In the first half, he struggled. No, he didn't struggle. When he got on the ball, he was good. But off the ball, he struggled to contain the midfield. That was the problem. He was trying to put out too many fires and he kept getting overrun. And that's why he tried to change it. But I think in the second half, first of all, you shouldn't have brought on Winks. Winks was that was a wrong sub. You should have brought on Sissoko to help out with the energy in midfield. And the problem with Tongi as well, I felt like against a team like Liverpool, you have to exert a lot of energy, right? You have to be running for 90 minutes to stop them. And as good as Tongi is and as fit as he's been recently, I didn't feel like he was up to it in terms of that side of the game yesterday, and especially in the first half when he's exerted so much energy.
He needed an extra man in there with him.
Yeah, but because he was only in a 2 in that first half, right? He was just running all over the place, and he exerted a lot of energy, and it was always possible that he was going to tire going to the second half, and I think he did, but we couldn't take him off because we had made all our subs, so he had to play the 90 minutes. And I felt like he struggled a bit later on in the game through fatigue, but I think it just didn't work out for him yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, if he would have had another runner in there like Sissoko, I think it would have done the world of good for us.
I agree.
But look, there's another. This is one from David Heitner. It says, Mane answers Klopp's call to reignite title defence. Do you really think this reignites their title defence?
Yeah.
Liverpool?
Yeah, look, they're back in it. It was a big win for them yesterday. Really big win. And I don't know how many points they are behind, but obviously they have to build on this result. But they did look good. For everything that we did to make it easy for them, I thought they looked all right yesterday.
We just
Liverpool.
gave it to them yesterday.
We did, no, but we did. But they were a lot better than they have been. I know we made it easier than other teams have.
Do you think they were better in this game or when they lost to United in the Cup? Because you were quite impressed with them that game as well.
I would say they were better in this game. Yeah, they were better in this game than they've been improving. They've definitely been improving. They were better in this game, and although we made it a lot easier for them than the other teams, you just remember in the first half it was an even game, wasn't it? It was a very even game in the first half before we conceded that goal. And as soon as we conceded that goal, it completely changed it. Because how many times have they gone 1-0 up in the past 5 weeks? Probably never. Not against United they have. And I think that was the only time. So, as soon as they go 1-0 up, the confidence is there and you could see it flowing through them. And there was a big problem.
All right. Well, I've got some good news for here at least. It says Jesse Lingard is set to join West Ham. So.
Oh, that's good. Not us at least. I don't want him joining us.
What we got here? The Times.
Also, I want to say, make sure if you want us to feature you, we're going to be checking the social media stuff and on Twitter and Instagram. So if you want us to react to anything, or if you don't think we've seen something that you think is interesting, tag us on Twitter at WeAreTottenhamTV, and we'll react to it live on the show. You can also give your opinion as well on Twitter if you want. But if there's anything like any pictures or memes or stats or anything you've seen on social media you want us to react to, give us a tag and we'll react to it live on the channel.
This is from the Times, and it says champions make Mourinho pay for tactical tinkering.
Yeah, I would say I also think he did tinker a bit too much, Mourinho, in terms of I think he was overthinking the selection yesterday in terms of putting Davis left centre back and Doherty left wing back. I think he overcomplicated it. I know we were all fretting over who was going to play left back when we heard about Reguilon and we heard Davis was out, but the fact is Davis was past fit for the game.
Yeah.
So you play him a left wing back. Doherty looked lost there. He looked completely lost. And there was actually a number of times where he was in good positions on that left-hand side and a good final ball or if he got his head up, we would have been in a very good position, but he wasted the opportunity time after time. And if we had someone like Davis there in that position, apart from Doherty, we would have had a better chance of making something out of it. And because he kept having to cut inside every time. And when you have a left footer there who can just go to the byline, it's a lot easier for them to pick out a pass rather than someone like Doherty who's always cutting inside and picking out the wrong things like he was. And he's never been a great left back. He was good for Wolves at right wing back, but left back I've never wanted him in that position for sure. So I think he got that one definitely wrong. And then obviously I don't know whether he was forced into the Aurier sub or he left the ground after he was subbed. It would have been a much better position if we had Aurier there, and unfortunately we had Doherty there the second half, and he struggled big time isolated against Mane.
Yes, we've got one here from Paul Joyce, also from the Times. He says, well, it's just a quote. I think the quote's from Jose, I believe. I can't remember. I don't know who the quote's from, but it says, "We'll fight, but players like Kane, you really can't replace."
Yeah, that's from Mourinho.
What do you make out of that quote?
Yeah, I mean, he's right, but we have to find solutions.
I mean, under Poch, we found solutions when Kane was out.
Under Jose, we did as well.
I was about to say, last year, when he got injured, Son stepped up, and it was only after when Son got injured we really flopped, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So do you back us to get a few wins over the next couple of weeks if Kane's out for the next 3 weeks?
Well, it's going to be tough when we play the higher quality teams like City, Chelsea, these kind of teams. It is going to be very tough to deal without Kane, and also, if we play to be honest, when we play teams who play a lower block, it's also going to be tough. But we have quality there. We have enough quality to not to completely negate what Kane can give you, but we have enough quality to compensate. Whether it's with Bale, whether it's Son up front, there's players there who we should be getting enough out of to be getting goals. And I know Kane's out, but it's not an excuse to be going on a winless run.
What is it about Firmino? Why does he always score against us?
I think he's scored in the last 4 games against us.
Scored 5 in Liverpool's last 6 league matches against us.
There you go. He loves scoring against Spurs. I don't know what it is. We can't keep him out. Maybe it's because we're too focused on the other Salah and Mane, and we forget about Firmino whenever we play them.
Literally. This is from the Independent. Champions end goal drought as Liverpool dismantle Spurs. The Liverpool of old, it says. Do you reckon that was the Liverpool of old?
What papers is?
Independent.
The thing is, they were definitely better than they have been recently. I wouldn't say it was Liverpool of old, but they were definitely better than they have been. But it was just the fact that we made it easier. If the thing is, if we had kept the same system as we had playing in the first half, it probably wouldn't. We wouldn't have struggled as. We probably still wouldn't have won, but we
Would
wouldn't
have been closer.
Yeah, it would have been closer. We wouldn't have been battered like we were in that second half. But we took some risk, which people have been we've been crying out for Mourinho to do. We did take some risk, and it backfired on us yesterday. I feel.
Well, what paper's this?
Daily
Mail. Shall we look at some tweets?
Well, yeah, I've got a few things here from Amazon Prime saying Jurgen Klopp are the first ever side to win 4 consecutive league games against a team managed by Mourinho.
What was that? Jurgen Klopp are the first ever side to win. Wow.
So that shows you how it's very rare, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Tottenham's last 5 league games against Liverpool: 2-1, 2-0, 2-1, 1-0, 2-1,
3-1,
and then 3-1 yesterday. So what? 6 defeats in a row to Liverpool. Ever since we beat them.
Was that the last time we beat them? 4-1.
Yeah. And then we got the draw at Anfield, didn't we? Later that season.
2-2.
And then
when Wanyama scored?
Yeah, and then we've lost every game since, pretty much. Yeah, we've pretty much shit the bed every time we played them. We can't, with this Klopp side, we can't seem to get to grips with it at the moment. And then what's this Opta? Jose Mourinho has lost 6 of his 23 league games in charge of Tottenham, more than he has any of his previous clubs. Doesn't bode well, does it? He usually has a very imperious home record, but I guess it's the lines between home and away this season have been blurred a bit, haven't they? So it's hard to judge, but it doesn't look great reading that. We do have people been tagging us on Twitter on things. Here's Duck. He says, Jose set us up to lose. Man United, Burnley and Southampton all beat Liverpool. Don't you think copying what those teams did would have been a good idea? Yes, the players were woeful yesterday, but Jose sitting back just allowed Liverpool to do what they do best, which is attack. What are you chatting about? You telling me Burnley didn't sit back? Of course Burnley sat back, you know what I mean? Southampton sat back, even though they won. They got that early goal and they pretty much sat back for 90 minutes. Man United... I wouldn't say they sat back, but they definitely, or if you look at their goals, they hit them on the counter pretty much every time. That was how they got their goals. So I think exactly what he was trying to do, and it was nearly working in the first half, but a few things went against us. And I feel like in the first half, it was more luck than anything that went against us, but in the second half, it was completely being the worst side. But yeah, I disagree with that tweet. Joe says, why didn't Jaffet start left back yesterday? Played a good run of games there last season and was good. Additionally said he was a fullback but never specified which side. Why I disagree with that is because Doherty's biggest failings at left wing back yesterday was not defensively, it was him on the ball. And I don't think Jaffet would have helped that. I don't think Jaffa would have helped that. I don't believe him at left wing back would have given us an attacking option.
Do you reckon it would have been better than what Doherty gave, though?
No, I don't. I really don't. Not defensively. Not offensively. He probably would have helped dealing with Salah and Trent better, but I don't think offensively.
Do you not think he has more energy and more physicality to get up and down?
I disagree, because I actually think Doherty was getting in very good positions yesterday. I actually think he was on the left
before,
back.
Yeah, he was getting up really well, but couldn't get back whenever he got up.
Yeah, that was in the second half. That was in the second half.
Yeah, but do you not? Well, we're talking about the game here. Do you not think Tanganga could have done that?
No. We're talking about him at left back yesterday.
Right.
That's what we're talking about. That's the tweet. I'm talking about this is why I disagree with that.
Left back, right back, it doesn't matter.
Of course it matters.
Why does it matter?
I'm talking about him at left back. Would Jaffet have been a better option than Doherty yesterday at left back? And I'm saying, in my opinion, no, because...
Yeah, but why does it make a difference if it was left back or right back? I mean...
Because he started left back.
Yeah, he started left back, ended off right back. He was shit at both.
Correct. Would Jaffet have been a better option than Doherty at right back? Probably. At left back, I don't think so. That's my opinion.
I don't know. I kind of think that he probably would have been.
I don't see how.
I just think he's a better player. I think he shows more. He's shown more than what Doherty has shown us. I think Doherty has been poor every time he played.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. But I'm saying offensively is where Doherty really let us down when in the first half when he was playing left back.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think Jaffet would have found the positions that Doherty was finding, despite Doherty's also.
But what's the point
quality.
of finding the positions if you can't even do anything with the position?
Yeah, and obviously we don't know what Jaffet would have done, but I personally don't believe he would have done better than Doherty in those positions because he's not a left winger, he's not a left wing back, Jaffet. But I guess in the others Doherty. But anyway, the problem is neither of them should have played. There should have been Davis there. I don't understand. We had a left back there, and he just overcomplicated it.
We should have played the same system as we played at Anfield. I mean, that's the honest truth of the matter, I think.
Yeah, probably that also was probably a better option. I think he just overcomplicated it in the end. Charlie Miller says Winks was awful, Doherty was awful, Lamela was awful, Rodon was good apart from one mistake. Dyer was okay, but we need a new right back, centre back, possibly a holding mid and a striker. Now Kane could be out for a while. Who could be these players? Well, we're not signing anyone, so we're going to have to make do with what we have in the squad, unfortunately. I don't disagree with a lot of that. I think Winks was awful, I agree. Doherty was awful, I agree. Lamela was awful, I agree. We need a new right back. Well, yeah, I mean the Aurier situation is a worry if he's going to be banished from the squad. I mean that remains to be seen. We don't really know the full story, but if he does, I
mean it'll be telling to see the squad this weekend. Won't it?
If he is banished from the squad, that's a big worry because Doherty hasn't shown anywhere near enough at right back at since he's come to the club, and Aurier's been a lot better than him. So we're going to need Aurier.
This is a table here from the Daily Mail, and it's showing Mourinho's bogeymen and how
wrong
and how often he loses to certain managers.
Yeah.
So Guardiola played him 24 times. I'm not sure if this is Premier. No, it can't be. Played him 24 times, 10 losses. Jurgen Klopp, he's played 13 times and he's had 7 losses. Benitez 19 times, 6 losses. Conte, he's played 7 times, 4 losses. Pellegrini 15 times, 4 losses, and Pochettino 16 times and 4 losses. So his record against Klopp and Conte ain't that good, is it?
Yeah, not great, is it? Against Klopp, clearly Klopp has. I remember at Madrid, didn't he? When Dortmund got to the final, didn't they beat Madrid in the semis? Didn't they?
Did they?
I'm pretty sure that was Mourinho's Madrid, and they beat them in the semis. Yeah, it's a worry. We got the OBN says Kyle Walker-Peters must be laughing at Mourinho for selling him. Dyer and Winks haven't improved over the last 2 years, and I understand why Pochettino wanted these players sold, because if a good carpenter shitty tools, you'll get shitty quality. I understand the Walker-Peters comment, because he probably we could do with him in the squad, but the fact of the matter is we used him as a bargaining chip to get Højbjerg, and that worked out.
And also at the time, everyone was so happy to get rid of him. Not to get rid of him, but the deal that we did.
To get Højbjerg, yeah.
To get Højbjerg in. And at the end of last season, people were saying Kyle Walker-Peters ain't good enough. So you can't really be angry about that transfer now.
No. But yeah, in hindsight, you can see Paul Walker-Peters having a great season with Southampton, isn't he? And he's definitely better than Doherty, that's for sure. But, you know, it wasn't a choice. It was a choice between having Højbjerg, because we weren't going to pay the money, were we? We needed to use him as a bargaining chip. Unless we just paid the 15 million and didn't sell Kyle Walker-Peters, which was an option. But I don't know if we wanted. Apparently, we didn't want to do that. Nate says, what do you think of playing Lucas and Son up top together? Their pace can really hurt defences.
No, I don't like that.
Plus, who is our best defence? Obviously, we did that under Pochettino, didn't we, in the run for the Champions League? And it kind of worked for a bit, but I don't know. I don't want Lucas up front.
No, not for me.
I would really rather us give Bale a run. I
agree.
Really do.
I really agree.
I think he has the characteristics that Mourinho striker would need more than anyone else in the squad. I think he showed against Wickham he still has a bit of pace about him, and I think if you get him in positions right in the box where he can have a shot and try and finish, he can be a clinical finisher. He can. We've seen it before. So I think Ronaldo moved into a central position later in his career, and I think Bale needs to do the same.
I mean, I would really love Jose to give Bale a go, but I just don't know if it's going to happen. No crumbs of comfort for Jose as he hits a snag.
Old Firma in Firmino, right? Old Firma back.
What do you make out of that? Just talking about just what an awful night it was basically for us with the Kane injury.
Yeah, it was an awful night, and it was one of those games where you're thinking about it just only negative things come out of it. It's all negative, and it just fell to pieces really. And we need to just pick ourselves up from this one. It's going to be difficult. It will be difficult to pick ourselves up from it, but we can do it. I think we can do it. But it's going to be very, very difficult. We need to find solutions and quick.
Yeah, and we need teams like Leicester and West Ham to start dropping some points. Well, I know Leicester drew on the weekend and Vardy's out, so maybe there's a chance of that now.
Little Laurie says, Toby Alderweireld, the best defender of this club, is playing in FA Cup, not against Liverpool in the Premier League. Jose Mourinho masterclass. I don't get the whole Toby thing. I really don't. I think he's been one of our best defenders this season. Not obviously that's not saying much, but I think he was having a good season.
It is saying much. It is saying much because our defence. We've praised. How many times can we praise our defence this season in terms of conceding goals from open play? It's just sloppy individual errors at times to kind of let us down. Eric Dyer yesterday was having a really good game. Mm-hmm. He was having a good game. How many times were we praising him in that first half, and then he does this stupid things. I mean, time and time again, Eric Dyer is putting in good performances. He puts such good work on that football pitch in open play. And then these just sloppy errors just let him down. Every time.
But I just don't understand why Toby's being left out. Like he was having a good season. I know, and since Leicester, it's like Mourinho's just decided he's not going to use him in the Premier League anymore, and I don't get it. Last time he started in the Premier League was Leeds, and we won. He scored, and we were playing well. So I think it's time we get him back in. Back in because it can't be any worse at the moment defensively. So we need him. I think we need him.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, all the papers are basically insinuating that Liverpool are back.
I wouldn't say they're back, but they was definitely a much improved performance. But they're going to come up against teams who are going to frustrate them more than we did for 90 minutes, not just 45. So we made it easier for them than other teams have. That's what I would say. What was this tweet I wanted to see? 1 second.
This one says, the real Trent stands up as he plays key role in victory. I thought he was really good yesterday.
Yeah, Trent was a lot better. He got an assist as well, despite the fact Rodon was a big mistake for the goal. For that goal.
It was a great finish for his goal that was disallowed as well.
Yeah. No, Trent wasn't disallowed. His stood.
Oh, right. It's a great goal then.
Yeah, Salah's was one. This one, a tweet from Joey says, Son wasn't even offside. This is the frame they paused at versus when the ball left Tongi's foot. So that's the frame that they used. Let's zoom in on that. That's the frame that they used, apparently, to determine whether it was offside. And that's the frame when the ball actually left Tongi's foot. So
you can't see the line though.
You can't see the line, but you can see Sonny. You can see Sonny's foot there.
Yeah, but on the screen you can't see the player in the near side.
It's Trent there.
Yeah, there we go.
Sorry. So that's the one where actually left Tongi's foot, and his foot is. And then all of a sudden, Son's foot's about an inch in, so he might have been on. If they use that one, because here I hadn't actually left Tongi's foot yet. That's the one they used. So that's a bit of frustration. Obviously, you can't.
Yeah, but when they drew the lines on the pitch last night, the thing that we were looking at, we both said it was offside.
No, they're saying they used the wrong frame.
Oh, they used the wrong frame in the game last night.
That's what they're claiming. That's what this Twitter guy is claiming. Because he's saying here, it's Tongi still has possession of it with the frame they used, and then if you go to the frame where it actually leaves his foot here, Sonny's back leg is in. Is a bit further in, so he might have been on, which is a bit frustrating. But look, this is what it is. What can you do?
Do you think it would have had an impact in the game if we would?
If we got 1-0 up, there's no doubt about it. Oh, no doubt about it. You can't. There's no debate. Of course, if we go 1-0 up in this game, it's a completely different game. Completely different game. Especially against a team like Liverpool. Huh?
Probably still would have ended up losing it.
We'll have to look. That remains to be seen, but. going 1-0 up against a team like Liverpool compared to going 1-0 down is night and day. Night and day. Charlie THFC says, with this defence, we will never be a serious team. Every game they let you down. Huge changes need to be made in the summer. We need a clear out on 2 quality centre-halves to come in. Dye will never fill the void of Supian. With Kane injured, we are effed.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. This defence ain't good enough.
We do need a bit of a defensive clear out, I feel.
Ain't good enough.
And Mourinho knows that, doesn't he? Because he tried to get some centre backs in the summer, didn't quite work.
We need a new right back. We need a couple of centre backs.
Here's one from Taz. What's he saying as a tweet? I'd like to know what exactly Dyer did to deserve the abuse. The first goal was totally on Lloris, in my opinion. The ball is heading straight towards him. He's facing it and he has to take charge of the situation. Apart from that, Dyer didn't make a single error. And you can see the position here, obviously. The ball's coming in. Dyer's there. Lloris
They
is
both
there.
leave it for each other.
And then what's the subsequent picture? Could Dyer have put it out for a throw there, for a corner on the near side? I think they're both at fault. I think they're both at fault for that goal. And also,
how can you say Dyer is completely blameless in this?
Also, if you actually look from where the goal began, Firmino is a good 3-4 yards behind Dyer. 3-4 yards behind him. So Dyer loses him.
He literally creeps up his backside.
So I disagree that he's blameless for that. But obviously Lloris as well definitely takes blame for sure for that goal.
What's the paper saying? Man of the match, Sadio Mane yesterday. I mean, he was terrorising Aurier, wasn't he, in that first half?
Yeah, but I think he terrorised Doherty a lot more in the second than he terrorised Aurier in the first.
Yeah.
Aurier,
I thought he was terrorising all night.
Yeah, I mean, for the first goal, as much as Dyer and Lloris are taking blame for it, if you actually look at it, he completely runs off Aurier and Aurier doesn't track him. Completely runs off him, and he doesn't run behind him, and that's why, because everyone's pointing at Dyer and Lloris, but no one's looking. Why is Mane in the box completely free, allowing to cross the ball? Yeah. So you got to say Aurier takes blame for that. So maybe that's what the shouting match potentially was about. Maybe Lloris was blaming Aurier and Aurier was blaming Lloris. I don't know.
Did they get a bad injury to Matip yesterday? Yeah,
they did. Serious injury apparently. Apparently a serious one on his ankle, so he could be out for a while, which could. Have you seen YouTubers Trends report? Yeah, I have seen that. Oliver Wright, we saw that a few weeks ago, a week ago or so. He apparently, so he could be out for a while. Apparently that could force him into the market, they're saying, which would be a worry. If Liverpool do sign a centre back, that could be a worry for me. What's this? Tweet people, Formula One fan. What is this? Højbjerg to Klopp at full time. I don't know what that is.
What? I can't see.
I don't know what you're saying.
I saw that. I saw Klopp doing that after the game. I was wondering what that was all about.
Doing what?
Just like he was like, what? He was like a bit shocked at what someone said, and I don't know what happened.
I don't know.
Don't know who said it. I don't know what was said.
What's this? Jose might be a serial winner. Unfortunately, a lot of these players are spineless serial losers and not good enough. Simple as. No manager can magically fix that. A serious squad overhaul is needed if we're to have any chance of being successful. One thing I would say about our summer business is, we did really well, and I was really happy with what we did. But the big failure was not getting rid of the players we wanted to get rid of. But that is, it's harsh. It's hard to.
Who are those players?
There's a I can't remember who exactly, but in the summer we were looking to get rid of there was a few players we were looking to get rid of, and we failed to get rid of them.
We were looking to get rid of Aurier at one stage.
Yeah, which was we're lucky we didn't. But
yeah, so which players are we talking about?
I'm sure that I don't know. I can't think of the top of my head. Probably like Sanchez, like Lamella. I
don't think we're ever looking to get rid of Lamella in the summer.
Well, we should have anyway.
I don't even think we were looking to get rid of Sanchez either. I mean, I can't really think of anyone in the squad apart from Danny Rose that we were looking to get rid of that we didn't.
But I think as well, it wasn't just us who couldn't get rid of players. I think everyone in the Premier League couldn't get rid of players in the summer, which was one of the big problems why there was so much stagnation, I felt. But yeah, there is a few players in the squad we need to get rid of. But at the moment, in this current market where teams aren't spending money, it's harder to get rid of your squad players, isn't it? Than it would have been.
Especially for the price that Levy wants.
Yeah. But at all, even not even unless you let them go on a free or like for like really really dirt cheap, like it's harsh, it's hard.
Exactly, because like you're gonna have to expect that Levy is gonna want his money back for Sanchez, or at least 30 million. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He's nowhere gonna get anywhere near that.
No, he won't. He won't. What's this? Hashbir Singh says, with Harry out, do you play the double pivot of Musa and Højbjerg with Tongi as number 10, Son through the middle, Stevie and Lamella on the wings, or do you start Vinicius as number 9?
Look, I think you've got to give him a chance, Vinicius. It's just like, what's he come here for if you're not going to give him a chance?
Yeah, I mean, yes. I agree. But it's up to Mourinho to decide whether he's shown enough on the training pitch to think that he's going to do enough starting up front, or whether he would rather have Bale or Son up top. I mean, I've got mixed feelings from what I've seen on him. I think he's done a good job in Europa League games in terms of getting goals, and I think he's been a physical presence and he's won some headers and stuff. But I think on the flip side, I think he's shown some really poor technique at times.
I think he's good as like a poacher.
Yeah.
So maybe if we have Son on the left, Bergwijn or Bale on the right, Tongi in the number 10 position, we can create some chances for him. Put the balls in some good areas.
Yeah. But I just...
It doesn't have to be the Kane all action dropping into defence and all this kind of madness. You know what I mean?
I agree. But I feel like I would just rather give Bale a run. Personally, I really would. I think he is the one. I think he's the one. If we're gonna replace Kane with someone potentially with the talent anywhere near Kane, you know, I'd rather risk it on Bale than Vinicius. That's my
but there's games coming every 3 days. Bale can't play them all.
Oh yeah, so I'd give Vinicius a chance at some point, but I'd rather pin my hopes on Bale than Vinicius. That's my personal opinion.
You've got Brighton this Sunday, the following Thursday Chelsea, then the following Sunday you got West Brom. So I mean, Bale is definitely not going to be able to play he'll probably only be able to play one of those games, or maybe two of them.
Yeah. So then you give Vinicius a run in one of them.
Would you rather see Bale in the kind of West Brom and Brighton game or in the Chelsea game?
I reckon against Chelsea he probably goes Son up front. I reckon that's the feeling I get. Okay.
All right. Shall we?
All right. I think that's.
Shall we end it there?
Yeah, it's coming up to the hour.
We have run out of time today, but thank you everyone for tuning in today. Sorry for the late start, for once again for the morning after show, but we had some technical difficulties this morning. Big thank you and big up to Grandpa for coming on today after last night. He couldn't get on properly. But yeah, that is it for the morning after show. We've got a lot of content coming out over the next couple of days, so keep your eyes out for all of that. We've got Brighton watch long and post match fan show coming out this weekend on Sunday, 7:15 kickoff at the Amex. So come and join us for the watch long on the post match fan show, and obviously the morning after show on Monday morning. So a lot of content to keep you busy over the next 2 or 3 days. Like, subscribe and comment, and as always,
come on you Spurs.